What's up, me, the Young Jamaican Trainer. Welcome back to the Strength No Weakness podcast. On the left of me, I got my amazing coach, original OG, Coach Gustus. Welcome.
Yo, what's going on, man?
Nothing much.
Good to see you again, and man, you looking good, son. You been in the sun or what, man?
I've been just getting busy, waking up every day, 5 a.m., go running 3 miles with the fam, and making sure that, our body is intact. We're conditioning. But before we even get into what I'm doing, guys, make sure you check out the podcast. It's on all platforms such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, Audible, and iHeartRadio. We are all on different platforms. You guys can be able to check out the Strength No Weakness podcast. There's no excuse. Keep up with us. We love you guys. But yeah, back to me, Man, I just been staying busy. This summer is all about the gains. I'm getting prepared for next year's season, and making sure I have a breakout year. So it starts from now.
You're putting in the work.
We putting in the work.
Because I heard you said you're doing 3 miles a day.
3 miles a day, Coach, and we are pushing ourselves.
You're looking to separate yourself from everybody.
That's exactly. You see, everybody has their own lane, right? It's like we're on the track. There's 8 lanes. Everybody has their own lane. But it's who is going to continue to push to get to the finish line. And even when I reach the finish line, I want to keep going. I'm going to go around. I'm going to lap them.
Yeah, and that's the thing I tell people. People out there competing, how do you separate yourself, make yourself different from everyone else? But you got to put in the work, because all over the world, somebody is putting in the work and they coming at you.
Exactly.
So I understand that. Yo, you see I'm rocking the Trade 21 stuff.
I see it. I love it.
Yo,
you're looking good, Coach.
With the Trade 21. I tell you, I know you guys got redemption from that last time that y'all lost to those guys over at the Stydome, man. Came back, y'all beat them.
Yes.
And, man, that was great. I can't wait for you now to have the rubber match.
Yeah, exactly. It's a tie series 1-1, and the best man is gonna win and go on to take the 2-1 lead. But I guess
it was pretty cool too, and it was the same day that I had to put in work.
Oh my God, we got to speak about what Coach Gustus did.
In the 60 and over,
The 60 and over game, and that was what, a new addition added to Trade 21.
Yeah, the new addition of 20.
And I was sitting on the bench watching Coach get buckets. If you seen what he was doing, it would be like, this guy's moving like that. The best crossover in Brooklyn, hands down, period.
Yo, you know what the thing about it, man? Sometimes I feel a little bad, playing against the older guys like that.
I mean, you in shape, so you're just killing them.
But when you come at me, you got to come right now, because, and then that one-on-one piece.
The one-on-one piece. So remember, Trade 21 is, it's different parts of the game. You start off as a 3-on-3, then you go into a 2-on-2, and the best man closes out the game for you to win, which is the one-on-one. And Coach Gustus, that was the man in charge. He dominated the one-on-one fully in his control. He was definitely in the driver's seat that whole game, and just put the guy to pain with that Jimmy. It was just nothing but net.
I tell you, you reach, I teach.
But listen,
you know what? I tell you, your brother is amazing. He's the closer for your team when y'all do that one-on-one. And I'm really, really impressed.
Yes, he's definitely
what he's doing with his game, man.
Yes. He's definitely, he definitely has the green light to definitely go one-on-one. We trust him most definitely, 100%. He has closed out for us in the past, and he's doing it again. And this guy is just different. He takes his game very serious. He's all about putting in that work. His schedule is actually completely busy. He's getting ready to go away this weekend. And this guy's been waking up every day, running 3 miles. Then after that, he has another workout. It's conditioning mixed with basketball workout, and then on top of that, he got weightlifting too. He's getting Aki this summer, and this guy is just you know what? I want more. I can't stop. So he's just preparing himself to be the best version of himself. But speaking on buckets, because we was just talking buckets, we got a bucket segment. Shout out to our producers. We got to always make sure we shout out my guys Gene and Tony. We got to make sure we throw that in there all the time.
Yeah. They're amazing.
Amazing. They hook us up.
They went into the buckets.
They know we get buckets. Now we have a segment called Buckets.
Man, that means they on top. They understand us.
They understand what's going on. Yeah. So look, it says, do you pay attention to the draft? I know, Coach, you a basketball head. We're a basketball head. So most definitely we're going to tune into the draft and, all the excitement around it and who gets the number 1 pick. who's top 3, what teams get who. So we definitely tune in to the draft. You tuned in as
Yeah,
well?
yeah. I like I always love the draft. The draft is a great time. I actually like to see who makes it in the second round. Because you pretty much is predictable on the first round.
Exactly.
But that second round is so amazing. And what happens is sometimes people don't make it.
Right.
They have people up in the hotel rooms.
I know.
Sitting around. And sometimes if they know that they're going to be in the second round and they didn't know it, they will call them down to come and sit in the round tables. But they're upstairs in their room with their parents and family and so forth. Waiting. And sometimes you can wait. I want to give a shout out to Julian Campini. He's from St. John's University.
Shout out to him.
He was one of the top players. He was not in the draft, but he signed a 2-way deal contract with the 76ers. So sometimes you don't see the guys in the draft because
that is true.
On behind the scene, they have already signed an agreement with the particular team.
Exactly. Some players go, watching the draft is just, it's amazing to see. You got guys who, been training their whole life. It's just like a amazing story where all the work that they put in, they get to see themselves on draft night, getting drafted, to any team in the NBA, but they, reach their goal of making it to the NBA, and it don't stop there yet. Some guys, journeys continue when they get drafted. Some guys, you don't even see them. Some guys get undrafted, have to go back down to the G League.
Yeah.
And some guys, they get the call to sign, like you said, 2-way deals or different deals with NBA teams. But it's just amazing to see that.
And the tears of joy,
exactly.
happiness, and so forth is very important. So a lot of times, remember the percentage of high school basketball players and college players that go on to become pros is so small.
Exactly.
The chances of getting in, what we got, about 400 or 500 players,
right.
Plus the G League now, which they expanded a little bit.
Yeah, the G League.
You got people from all over the world that is attempting to get in there. So you got your work cut out, son.
Yep. So you see, basically, once you see, and even if you're good, like I'm telling you, you can still go undrafted or have to go down to the G League or possibly play overseas. So it just shows you how, once you put in that work, it's still never enough. There's more work that needs to be done.
There's no guarantee.
Exactly. There's more. Even if you put in the most, you just don't know the outcome. But you know how much work you put in and how you dedicated yourself, to get a step closer to reaching your dreams.
So that's why it's so important. You don't arrive to success. You enjoy the journey.
Exactly. Oh my God.
You see what I'm saying? The journey is so important. We all see a place that we want to be at, but it's the journey, man. What you're experiencing now, where you do 3 miles a day and somebody else is sleeping, this is your journey.
It's really amazing. I'm glad that you said that's amazing. When I'm up since 4 or 5 and I'm running with the raccoons. When they out looking for food, I'm outside with them. And I already put in 2 workouts from the morning, and people are just getting up at 12. You get text messages saying good morning, hope you have an amazing day, and I'm like, man, my morning started since 4. I've been up here putting in work while other people were sleeping.
See, and let me tell you something. I want you to understand what you're doing here, and you have a right.
Right.
When you put in work, when you get on that court with someone, you destroy them.
Exactly.
Why are you saying to them that, look, you can't possibly hang with me if you're not putting in the work like I do. How dare you try to come on the court with me and do that? I feel the same way. When I'm throwing down with a 60 and over, and you coming out there, you done drop some beers and brews and all that kind of stuff. Son, you don't have no business on the court with me.
Exactly.
None, because I'm putting in the work. I ride miles and miles and miles on my bike, and I'm running, and I do my exercise. I do all those things. I eat properly and so forth. I'm prepared. So when you step on the court with me, ain't no mercy.
No mercy.
Because we still competing. I enjoy it. We still competing.
Exactly. No friends on the court.
It's like when you try to outshoot me. You haven't put up many shots as I have.
You're right.
So once you do, then it happens. But until then, this supreme. All right? So,
hey, Coach.
Yo, so guess what, man?
Right there.
Look at these buckets, man. I like this bucket series, man. Because
I'm enjoying it.
you know, you get a chance to talk about some of the things, the draft and so forth. Let's look at some of the teams that, how do you think they did in the draft? I mean, you know, you think about it, and I know you keep up with some of the things.
I think, you know, some of the teams have picked, you know.
Like the Knicks. Did you see Stephen A. and
you know what's so crazy? I tuned into the draft watching with my dad.
Right.
And we've been waiting. One of my guys got drafted. Shout out to him. His name is Adrian Griffin. He always shows me love. Shout out to him.
Yeah.
He's with the Atlanta Hawks now. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, his name hasn't got called. He's a first rounder too. Top 10. So I'm like, man, Knicks is up on the board next. I hope
they was number 11, right?
Okay, yeah, number 11.
Right.
So I'm like, come on, Knicks, don't fumble the bag this year again. You know, you guys are known for doing things like that. I'm like, maybe this year is a change. I know the Knicks fans are in the building, pumped, hyped. I know Tony, one of our producers, is a Knicks fan, and I know when he seen that, he had to be like, he had to
be like Spike and
Steven.
They
were frustrated.
They were on their knees and everything.
I'm like, listen, they up next. They got the pick, and when I seen the pickers in, I'm like, my guy's getting drafted. They're gonna have a powerhouse in New York.
That's crazy. Yeah, Stephen A. By the way, he loves the Knicks.
Yeah,
Stephen is one of my guys. You know that I'm can't wait till we get him on the show here, so we could talk basketball, because he's the most realest guy that you could ever find. He does his thing, and sometimes we need to talk about some of these guys like that. There, I watched Stephen come from just here all the way up. He wrote one of the biggest articles on me when I was the first black coach to coach in the Catholic School League.
Oh, nice.
And he did a fantastic job on his story on that there. But he is an amazing guy that really, really cares about individuals and so forth, especially when it comes to balling. But then he will, do some other stuff, as you know.
Yes.
But Spike is Brooklyn.
Yeah.
I saw Spike at Brooklyn games in the playoffs.
Really?
I kind of like, Spike, what are you doing here? Come on. It's like, to see Spike at the Brooklyn game.
Right.
Because the Knicks are not there. You could see. But you got some diehard Knicks fan.
And I was seeing them, waving their jerseys. I'm like, man, it's the time that they're going to actually, do something right for once. And then I see it and I'm like.
But let me say, can I give you some history, son? Let me give you quick history.
All right, give me some quick history.
The worst move the Knicks have ever made. Ever.
Let's see if Tony agrees with this.
Ever made.
Mm-hmm.
And they have been feeling it ever since. They traded Walt Frazier to the Cleveland Cavaliers back in the day. When they traded Walt Frazier, how you going to trade Clyde to Cleveland? Clyde don't even go together with Cleveland. And Cleveland wasn't like what you see with LeBron. It was like one of the worst teams. You took a guy like Walt Frazier and traded him. They have never been the same. I don't care, even when Patrick Ewing them, they had all kinds of heartbreaks. They have to get some redemption on trading. Now, they did bring Walt Frazier back to be the announcer, and Walt is the greatest guy that you could meet.
I love to hear him announce. He got the razzle and dazzle.
With it. And you know what? He had to make himself become that way. He read books. He really became who he became. But how do you trade Walt Frazier?
I didn't know that. That's some Knicks history that I know now. And I see one of our producers in the back is like, man.
Yeah. He already knows what we're talking about there, because you just don't trade Walt. That at that time especially, so the Knicks haven't been the same ever since. That's one of my favorite basketball players, by the way, Walt Frazier.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. So anyway, your Warriors.
My Warriors,
I know they won their chip.
Mm-hmm.
I see Draymond talking a lot of smack.
Man, Draymond deserves to say what he want to say. Draymond is a proud champion that, you know, that put in the work for it. You can't just become a champion for doing nothing.
Right.
I mean, Draymond contributed to that team, you know, a lot. His energy that he brung, rebounding, defense. Draymond is just a powerhouse that, you know, sometimes even though, you know, he may come with the controversial statements, he may, you know, sometimes, you know, be Draymond, but you got to acknowledge the fact that Draymond is a champion. Draymond is, you know, he's up there. He's up there with rings now too.
I'm proud of him, man.
And you see, when he has the spotlight, you know, to just say what he gotta say, man. He put in the work. We obviously seen what he contributed to the series, and you gotta just say, man, congratulations. If you up there saying what you gotta say, go ahead, man. This is your time to shine. You worked for it. You earned it. Do your thing.
Can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
What does the new media mean to you now?
The new media?
Yeah, because this is what Draymond's been talking about. And he kind of got that. You got the new media versus the old media, which I know, you know, television and all that kind of stuff. But now, what is your thoughts about the new media with Draymond and so forth?
Well, it's funny that you asked because, you know, I was just thinking about the new media.
Because you are the new media.
We are the new media. Yeah. And you know what, you know, the people who are the analysts, you know, basically who are covering the games, talking about individual players, teams, stats, and, you know, so on. The new media now, I just feel like, you know, the analysts are more bolder with, you know, their statements and, you know, the things that they're saying. You know, I feel like, you know, in the old media, they would say some things, but respect the player and, you know, respect them not going too much overboard. But I think now, you know, they take their job very, very serious, and whatever they say is, you know, if it's my show, I say what I want, and, you know, if it's true, it's true. So I think the new media now is more, you know, blunt, more upfront with their facts and statements. And, you know, listen, it's just something that, you know, people are going to have to adjust to because they're doing their job. You know, they're watching the games, they're reporting on it. You know, you just try to make sure your name is not in the media every day.
One thing I like about the new media as well is that they could quickly clap back at anybody. Because years ago, what was said in the old media, it was said, you get the last word. Now, somebody like yourself, you have just celebrated 200 million viewers on YouTube. So when people clap at you, you always could clap back and say, hey, wait a second, or I did not say that, or wait a minute, you're not gonna just say anything like you just have to say, and then I'm not gonna say anything back. You see what I'm saying?
I understand.
And when I, as an old school person, we used to watch TV and we couldn't say anything unless I interview you. But now today, no, it don't work that way anymore.
Not at all, not at all.
So y'all OGs, y'all better wake up. I ain't even gonna call you OG, I'm gonna call you old heads. Because old heads feel that they can say anything they want and the young people ain't coming back at them.
Oh, most definitely. It's gonna be more of a instead of a conversation where somebody's answering you back, some people would just, you know, get, like you said, the last word. They would say anything, and you won't have somebody who give you a rebuttal and, you know, answer back. But now, you know, you got guys who you disrespecting their legacy, their brand, and you know you're gonna have some guys who speak up for themselves and let you know that, listen, I'm not a walkover. You're not gonna put my name to bash all over the media and me not say anything back.
So and I wanted to bring that point up because we have to see this here media thing. And I once heard Stephen A. said that, look, when I come to interview you, you say what you want to say.
Right.
But it's not necessary to interview you any longer because you get on your podcast and then you say what you want to say.
Exactly.
So therefore, it's an open field for you, for us to report based on what you said.
Exactly.
So one thing, there's the other side of that says, look, if you get on a podcast and you speak in your mind, then the old media gets the opportunity to evaluate what you said and then report on it. Does it make sense?
It makes sense.
So I don't have to interview you anymore. I just sit around and listen to your podcast.
And then go.
And then I'll go and speak on that because that's coming out of your mouth.
Right.
Very good, man. You know, and this is the reason why I love this podcast, because here we, our goal is to build people up.
Right. You notice every topic that we touch, you know, we always give, you know, our best feedback on it. And we make sure we never, ever bash anybody. Right. You know, our job is always to motivate and always to inspire and uplift and make sure people know that this podcast right here that you can catch all over different, you know, platforms is all about positivity. So even if we touch maybe the most dangerous or the most roughest, you know, topic that people want to hear about, but, you know, they're scared for us, you know, or scared that we touch it, listen, we all about keeping it calm, bringing people together. And listen, we're going to touch those topics. We want to let you know that, listen, we understand what's going on out there, and we're here to report. We're here to give you our feedback. And you know, I want you guys to listen and let us know what you think about it.
Yeah, and then I don't always remember the whatever comes out of your mouth is colored by the condition of your heart. So whatever you speak is coming out naturally. You don't have to fake it or anything. It's coming out because you're accustomed in your heart.
That's who you are.
If your heart has malice, then it's going to come out of your mouth. Well, if you got hating in your heart, it's going to come out of your mouth. You know what I'm saying? It's going to come out.
It's going to show who you are true as a person. Listen, if you practice it, it comes out like nothing in public. And that's why I love that quote so much, because private practice determines public performance. Right. Because whatever you know, do in the darkness must come to light. So if you talk a certain way and you know, like you said, have malice or hatred and envy inside of you, it's going to come to light, and you're not even going to notice. It's just going to come up because that's the type of person you are.
It's a natural.
Right. And, you know, this is why I love this podcast. We get to speak on so many different things, me and you, Coach. And it's just amazing. You know, our viewers love it. But, you know, we got one more discussion for this bucket, you know, topic. It's about my Golden State Warriors. Will they make it to the finals next year? Your opinions, your thoughts on that?
Well, we said, I think right now they're a target because they got so many new players coming in, and their structure and their system is in place. And you got players that can run it. And they are head and shoulders away from all the other teams because they have a system. Whenever you have a young guy like Gary Payton Jr., that play is an indication that the older players are getting to the young guy. When they threw the ball to him in the corner, he had a wide open jump shot. Facts. And then Steph threw the ball to him, came all the way around. He had a wide open jumper. He held on to the ball, waited till Steph come around, gave it to Steph at the corner and set a pick for him so he can get an open shot. And instead of shooting that ball quickly. That means he understands the system.
Exactly. The system is set up, it's designed, and you know, those younger guys, you know, they respect it. You know, they understand what's going on, and they make sure that they play by the rules. You know, the system is set up, and you know, you got to play under the system. If the shot is designed for you, even, I mean, what Gary Payton did, you know, he held the ball, waited till Steph come around, and actually ran the play. You know, he had that wide open jump shot. I think he was standing there for probably about like, what, six seconds?
Yeah, the 4 or 5 seconds, enough to get a shot open.
To get a shot open, he had enough time, but you know.
And see, that's the difference between them, because that wasn't even a play. It was like, I am waiting for Steph. Steph just hit 2 or 3. I'm not taking this shot.
Exactly.
I'm letting him do it.
I'm glad that you said that. And you know what I really like about players like that is players who respect those type of guys. You know, sometimes when they see their teammates going off, or they just hit about 3 shots back to back, and then the next possession come and you come down and come take some wild shot, it don't make sense. You feed the guy with the hot hand. Listen, if you hit 2 or 3 shots back to back, listen, I'm gonna make sure I get you open, because if you could give us that, you could give us more. You on fire right now. You got the hot hand until you cool off. Then we find out and we find somebody else who can keep it going. Or I may take some shots. I may turn up. But why would I come down and throw up a wild shot? The percentage maybe it's not even high enough The guy just came down and shot 3 shots back to back, and they all went in. I'm gonna say, you know what? This guy's up to something.
See,
I'm giving him
you're
the ball.
talking some point guard stuff there.
And
Son, I love that about you.
You see, Coach, I'm learning
you're getting
from you.
to my heart now.
I'm getting.
Because you're talking some point guard stuff, you know. Because I remember before when you used to play young, it's like,
right.
me. I got it. But when you're talking like that, you're talking point guard stuff.
Right.
That's going to take you to the next level.
And it's just the person I am, right? You know, for example, we had a game where we was playing a tough team, one of those ranked 8th grade teams. And, you know, we were playing, it wasn't even 8th grade. It was higher. It was high school, something like that. And we were playing, and we were down 15 by half.
Wow.
I got checked in the game, and one of my guys, he was the hot hand, right? He was the hot hand, but he would score offensively, but the defense on our team was just completely broken down. Right. There was nobody who was able to stop their true guard or their scoring player. And I came in the game and I made sure my job was to lock down that player and get my hot hand open. And that's exactly what I did. From a 15-point deficit, we came back, tied the game up, went up 1. Unfortunately, we lost to, you know, I would say a bad call by the ref on that one. But listen, you win some games, you lose some games. But the matter of the fact is that I gave the ball up when, you know, somebody was hot. You know, I like a Gary Payton, I contributed by giving my
and play defense right?
Exactly. The defense creates offense. I got stop steals, and I was able to dish it to the player, and that's exactly what he needed. He needed somebody to help cover the defensive end while he was going off on the offensive side of the game.
See, let me just say this to our audience. If you're a baller, understand colleges see that. They see that. They see that type of stuff. And a lot of times people think we college coaches only looking at scorers.
Right.
No, they're looking at the overall game. Can you fit into a structure and
guys
system?
who's gonna get
Are
dirty.
you selfish and all those things? It's very important, man. That's fantastic.
Thank you so much,
Let
Coach.
me get a pound on that. That's great.
And guys, now we move into the next topic. It's called Old School / New School segment. And Coach, this is where I'm gonna give you an active NBA player, right? That I like, and I want you to give me an older player with a similar skill set. We good on that?
Yeah, you know, I'm gonna take you back.
Okay.
Back
Depending on my player, you think you know who my player is?
Well, of course I do.
Who's my player?
Probably Steph Curry.
Oh man, Coach, you gotta be one of those who read people's mind. I was just gonna say Steph Curry.
Listen,
who you got for him?
You know what? The bottom line with you, when it comes to Steph, that's your dude.
That's my guy right there.
I already see that. But you know what? Right now, I got a guy that I'm gonna take old school people back.
Okay.
And I want people to Google this guy, because if you Google him, you'll see. The guy that I see as one of the shooters that matches up with him is a guy by the name of Downtown Freddie Brown.
Yo, wait, that nickname is kind of catchy.
Downtown Freddie Brown.
Downtown Freddie Brown.
And that's exactly how they used to say it on the thing. Downtown Freddie Brown. And
you got a little commentator voice.
Oh, come on, don't
I don't want to get you started.
Yeah, but Downtown Freddie Brown can shoot the ball. I mean, when he got it, and this is when they brought the three-pointer into the NBA, because it was first in the ABA. So they brought this three-pointer, and Downtown Freddie Brown could shoot anywhere on the court. Wow. Now, he didn't shoot near the logo because, you know, basically...
Right, the logo.
Today they doing that, you know, particularly certain guys. But threes and making threes all over the court. And when he got it, it was crazy. And when you get a chance, I want you and your fan base to look up Freddie Brown. I know old school, they know about Downtown Freddie Brown, one of the greatest shooters that was around during the era that I played and watched basketball as a youngster as well.
And that's crazy. You actually matched up a guy, you know, similar to Steph Curry based on shooting wise. And I got to go check out some film of Downtown Freddie Brown, because first off, that name brings energy saying it.
Yes,
and now I want to see if, you know, the excitement is there when he shoots the ball. So
and wait till you hear the announcer. Every time he would make it, everybody would say, Downtown Freddie Brown. So,
and you know, let me tell you one thing about me, Coach. Listen, I love a good game, but it has to be a good commentator.
Yeah, the commentators.
You know, it got to be a good commentator. Like, I'll give you a couple commentators, you know, in the NBA. my guy, Mike Breen. You know, that's my guy. Bang! LeBron puts it in. Yo, it's just, it brings life to the game.
Yeah.
And my other guy, Mark Jackson?
Mark Jackson. There goes that man.
Oh my
God.
man, listen. I could be watching LeBron go off for 50, but you know, if there's no exciting, you know, commentating going on, I'm like, man, LeBron just dropped 50. That's what's up.
So here's the point that I like what you're doing,
right?
Which we don't do, because your generation is a highlight generation.
Exactly.
60 seconds, you know, microwave, and of course you got to do everything in 60 seconds. But what you're telling me is you're listening to the game.
Exactly.
So these guys are excellent people that can tell you the game and what's going on. This is a move that the guy made, a play that the guy made. My favorite.
And your guy, Walt Frazier, with the razzle dazzle.
Walt Frazier is crazy.
Man,
you know?
when I'm watching the Knicks game and I hear that, I'm like, Dad, you heard that? That's crazy. Like,
when he started talking about you stealing and willing and killing.
I don't know how it is, but it's just like a natural thing for him. Like, he knows exactly what to say based on the play that the player just made.
He's developed himself into that type of announcer, worked hard on it just like anything else. And one other guy, OG, his name is Marv Albert.
Okay.
Every time that anybody made a shot, he would say, yes.
Oh, I heard of that one.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, it's so crazy because, you see, I'm different. Like, you know, when I come out with a mixtape, right? I want my mixtape to be just so different from everybody else. So I may be giving away my sauce right now, but it's okay because, you know, I'm here to just anything. My information is their information,
right.
You know? So when I'm coming with a mixtape, I'm like, man, I gotta have something different to it. Yeah, you got video, they got the clips of me go getting the buckets and stuff and the threes. But what if I add Mike Breen's voice, bang, from the three? Or what if when I'm walking away and they get me in slow motion looking at the crowd laughing like I just scored 50 on your team. Oh, mama, there goes that man. Okay. And now I got to add my man Albert in there. Yes.
Yeah.
Yo, Coach, I'm ready.
Yeah. And then you can say, yo, look at me, I'm willing to deal it.
I'm willing. Razzle dazzle. Listen, and you know.
So you put old school and new school
exactly.
together, man.
I'm learning from old school, new school. And, you know, I actually know some guys. You see me, I got no hatred in my heart. You know, some people would, you know, if they have their own podcast, they would sit up there and, you know, not recognize, you know, people on the rise. And I know some commentators, you know, who are doing their thing right now. Oh. And, you know, who actually commentate in some of my games. I want to give a shout out to my guy. His name is Here's Johnny. You know, that's my guy right there. You know, he's on the rise. He's been commentating for, you know, a couple of years now, and he's doing his thing. Yeah. And my guy, Spicy, Mr. Talk Spicy, that's my man right there. You know, anytime I'm in the summer, you know, he looks out for me. Let me tell you,
Summer League, when you have these guys,
exactly,
they put the game on. They make it even more exciting.
And you know, they're adapting, you know, and in the old school is watching the new school. Right. You know what I'm saying? In the new school, we doing our thing. So, you know, those are my guys right there. Here's Johnny and my guy, Mr. Talk Spicy. And if you guys are watching this episode, you know I always show love. And those are some of my favorite commentators.
Well, so this is great because this brings us to summer ball, and especially in New York.
You already know.
New York, we play basketball outside and inside. Okay. Now, but a lot of times, I know you got fans and people that's watching this from all over the world, but if you go in the Southern South, you go find a gym.
Right, yeah.
It's usually hot. Like if you're in Texas, Dallas, Texas, you're not playing outside, trust me. But New York, we are blacktop people. We get out there.
Give me up top for that one.
Yes, sir. We are blacktop people. What are your thoughts about the strengths of playing outside versus the weakness of playing inside? And I got some thoughts on it as well.
See, for me, it's like, you know, I'm 50-50 on both sides. Mm-hmm. Why? Because, everybody would love to play in the gym. You got the gym, you got the grip is amazing on the court. You know, you're able to move how you want to move. And just the indoor atmosphere, especially when it's a intense game, the packed crowds in the gym, and the life, the spotlight, the lights, and all of that. So a gym for me is like when you playing and when you hear you playing in that tournament, that big known tournament, and you in that known gym where you know 500, and this is a true story, 500 plus people go to that tournament, and the spotlight is on you, especially when you got the front courts. You're like, man, it's my time to shine. But even when you're outside, summer tournaments, you're balling, I feel like, you know, it's a 50-50 because for me, I like playing outdoors. I'm accustomed to the heat playing outside, you know. I work out so much in the heat that playing basketball in the heat, there's just no problem.
Well, yeah, so see, playing ball outside has always been, this is where I work out. When I hear kids got to go to a gym to practice and get training.
You want to know something? Exactly. There's kids out here who don't even have some of the resources that other kids have, the tools, you know, like kids can be kids can, you know, literally go hit up somebody and get in the gym ASAP, or can get this for free, or do this or this. And some kids don't have this. Some kids are literally on their own each and every day trying to find a way to get better, and they only have themselves. I hear some stories about kids in the snow putting up shots in the rain, walking home drenched. I'm like, listen, and those are the kids who literally come from nothing, and you hear them turn out to be, you know, amazing.
They have
it's
a saying,
just a wonderful story.
The story is, you got a basketball, a boy or a girl, and a dream.
And a dream.
That's all you need: a basketball, a boy or girl, and a dream.
And
you know, and that's very important. You know, the other day I was, my grandson,
my guy,
your guy Derek.
Shout out Derek, man.
Yeah, that's your boy right there.
My guy.
I told him, he said, Coach, you know what? I need to get behind the scene on the podcast to help out with some stuff. I said, yeah, that's all right. I'll call your boy up and tell him. Yeah. But, you know, he's into basketball now. He's like Jamali. He's starting to get into basketball.
I see him.
And he's dribbling the ball. I give him a ball, and he's walking with it. Mm. I said, no, do you dribble?
Right.
He says, no, it keeps hitting these cracks, and it keeps going into the street.
But
I said, but those cracks, that's your move.
Exactly.
So I said, give me the ball. And I showed him, boom, hits the crack, and I grab it, whip, bring it back. Crack, make it go this way, snatch it, boom.
Exactly.
That's my crossover. Whack, whack, boom. So the city streets, you should have a basketball, a boy, and a dream. That's all you need. And you right there, you do work with it.
And I'm glad you brought up the cracks on the street because, you know, my dad always tells me, listen, true basketball player always got their basketball with them.
That's right.
Especially even if it's a dead ball, if it don't got too much air, if you got cracks in the street, that makes your handles the best.
That's right.
Especially when you have to actually pound the ball.
Back in the days, the ball would get like a little lump in it. All the different type of lump.
They call it something different nowadays. I don't want to say it.
Okay, whatever they call it. All right, but back in the day, we call it a lump, and that's because we couldn't afford another ball. We got to wear that ball out. So when you dribbled that ball and it hit on the lump, the ball moved. But that showed you how to catch it, swing it back.
And it makes you move.
See that shoulder move you just did? Mm. That's a move there. Boom, you know?
Boom.
So it's basketball is like that there, you know, and that's why I always tell guys, use every little thing that you can use to improve your basketball.
Enhance your game.
Enhance your game. Yes.
And I'm glad that you said that because, you know, a lot of people are curious, you know, about you, your basketball ways, basically you as a player, and most importantly, you as a coach. Mm-hmm. Because, you know, all the great stories that they hear about you coaching, the amazing players that you develop, and people nowadays, this is so crazy. Like, I think I told you the story, but you know, people back then who know you, right? And now leading into my generation, I met a guy the other day. Shout out to him. His name is Mr. Best. Mm-hmm. He was just giving me, you know, details about you, how you, the man of Brooklyn, like anywhere you walk, oh, that's Coach Gustus right there. He's like, do you know who you're working with? I said, listen, that guy is legendary, and I'm honored just to be in his presence every day, you know. And he said, you got the best crossover in Brooklyn. There's no guy who could say, I killed Coach Gustus. Never. Because anytime somebody stepped on the court, you made sure you handled your business. And that's just amazing to hear. And this is crazy. We got fan questions, Coach.
Yeah.
They want to know about you, not me. They want to know about you. Wow. You, the man of the hour. Listen, they said, this is by James C., guys. So, James, shout out to you. You said, Coach, what's the story behind your first coaching job? I want to know.
Wow, man, that's amazing. I mean, this is great. This is great. Somebody's asking me questions now. Thank you. Well, let me just say this.
Thank you.
Yeah. You know, the thing is, I started coaching at the age of 17 years old. I was in high school.
You was a young coach.
I was a young coach. And one of the reasons why I started coaching, at Ditmas Park and Ditmas All-Stars. I created this organization called Ditmas All-Stars. I went to the park and I grabbed 12 to 14 guys in the park. They were out there hanging out with the gangs and stuff. And I was a very good basketball player and captain of the basketball team. And I just decided that I wanted to coach some young people. So those were my first coach. I was always anxious to teach people what I was learning.
Right.
And I was learning from some great coaches. Let's give a shout out to my great RIP coach, Coach Mark Reiner, Barney Davis, Lester Roberts, all these guys that coach me, because sometimes people ask the question,
right?
What, you know. But my whole goal was to make sure that as a coach, I want to always find out where the player wants to go. Remember, it's like a coach bus,
right? Yeah.
Coach train, a coach plane.
They all the coaches. 21 days.
There you go. They're all the coaches, and the coach job is to get you where you want to go,
right?
Not where I want to go. So the first question I ask you, where is it that you want to go? And you're like, Coach, I want to go to NBA. I want to play the NBA. Okay, that's the destination you set, but are you willing to pay the price? Because whatever price you pay, that's how fast you get there. So you pay the price to go on the bus to LA?
Exactly.
It's going to take you some days to get there.
That's...
You take a train, it's going to cost more, but it takes you there. You take a plane, it's really going to cost you some more, but you'll get there quick. On your way, you will have some turbulence. But eventually, life settles down. You take Coach Gustus, it really going to cost you some dollars, right? So it's important for us to understand, if you're a coach and you're working with young people, find out where they want.
Yeah, talk in your camera, Coach.
All right? It's so important for us to understand that, because a lot of times coaches have these ideas for the young people.
Right.
Find out where they want to go. Let them tell you. And then your job is to give them support and help them get to the place. Use your wisdom, your knowledge, your understanding of knowledge, and pass it on to the young people. The other thing I want to say to you and your team and your family, your SNW family, it's very important for us to get it. I always talk, when you're at that free throw line, the first thing you do is take that one breath. And then you shoot the same way all the time. But the one breath that you take is so important, because you have to distinguish the fans that's in your life, the spectators that's in your life, all right? The team members who's your family.
Right.
But when you're at that line, that one breath allows you to lock them out.
That one
lock
breath?
Everything out. And then you can breathe life into your shot. See? So it's so important for you to get that. So coaching has been something that I love doing. I still love doing it, even when I'm not coaching basketball.
Oh, yeah. You coached us to our trade
21 victory. Yes. Yeah. So there's a lot of things that I like to do with that, but I love teaching the game. I love seeing things happen where young people learn the game, their footwork and all of those things. And I remember you when you first really start making your left-hand layups. Now you jelly in it, not peanut butter in it. Before you do the peanut butter, it's thick, but the jelly is rolling. You got both hands now. You're going left and right. Those are things that your dad brought you all the way to Brooklyn to learn. And I remember you guys just learning the fundamentals of the game. And after a while, you just see me just making you do it over and over. And then when I watch some of your games, I see you do that first step.
Yes.
I see you get past the guy. I see you do the reverse pivot. Beautiful things. So now it's becoming a part of your games.
Right. And I'm so glad that I was able to hear, about your first coaching job, because it made you the person you are today. An amazing coach for over a long time. And, what's really crazy is, we had trust in Coach Gustus. I remember the first time he brought some guys down from China, and they were excited to meet me. Right. And this is the first time we came up to Coach. We was like, Coach, we want some serious training. And from then on, it just sparked. It ignited, you know, an amazing bond between my family and Coach Gustus. We got up every morning going to Brooklyn just to get training from Coach because we believed in him, and we still do. Up to this day, we trust in Coach Gustus, his knowledge, you know, what he's been through and how he's able, you know, to help us get to the next level. And I'm so thankful to have Coach Gustus in my life, especially when people, you know about you and how positive you were back then, and, you know, they are able to tell me that while I'm working with you. It's just a blessing, an amazing thing to hear. And, you know, that's why you are an amazing coach you are today. And I'm not even just going to label you as a coach. I label you as a mentor, you know, somebody you could go up to, a relationship coach, also just a person that you are, you know, amazing person, man. But I'm still able to spot your car. You thought you was low with that one.
Yeah, at the birthday party. But you know what? I tell you, I love, man, you guys sparked more life and energy to see your family.
Thank you, Coach.
Moms and dads. We see it on the internet, but it's real, man. Even when y'all not filming, you know, right. you got my little daughter, Angie, your mother, and she even videotaping stuff. But it's really a life, and you guys are growing up and we watching it. Right there in the hoods of the Bronx, y'all doing your thing. Right. And that goes to show you that if you have a dad and a mom that are really focused on their children, that they can accept it and move on. And then you attract people to come into your life that make things happen.
I'm so glad you said that because, you know, one thing about my dad, man, he's just, you know, an amazing person. And the amazing person that he is just, you know, he looks out for everybody. And that's really a blessing because, you know, people that, you know, we can meet for the first time, you know, they always come back to him, either for advice, life lessons, you know, people of our family still call him up to this day. Hey, Mr. Marlon, you know, I want to work out with you guys. I see what you're doing with your boys, and I trust the process. I'm willing to do what it takes. I see the results. I see it in them, and I'm willing to do whatever it takes. And the fact that they have faith and, you know, trust in him, you know, is amazing. And it's just to show, it shows us kids that, you know, when you have an amazing dad in your life, you know, it's amazing. And, you know, what really, you know, what gets me mad and, you know, kind of pissed off is when, you know, Father's Day comes around and you see Mother's Day and all those things. You love your mom. You do anything for her. And what gets me mad is when I see the advertisement, right, of how big they go about the advertisement. It's important. We're acknowledging the mothers, which they supposed to be acknowledged every day. This shouldn't be just a one-time date that now we're supposed to go crazy and run errands and plans. No, this is supposed to be acknowledged every day to show that our mothers are great each and every day. But when I see it comes down to Father's Day, I don't see those type of advertisements. I don't see nothing at all. And it's like, man, it's like they try to put fathers to shame and say that they're not there for their kids or we shouldn't do nothing good for our fathers. And, you know, the fact that I have an amazing father, you know, that needs to be heard about and people need to be, you know, people need to know that he's amazing. I make sure it's my duty and my job that anytime I have the platform to acknowledge him and shout him out, I'm most definitely going to do that. Yeah. I don't care how long it takes, but I'm going to make sure that he knows that if there's nobody in this world that's going to acknowledge him, but there's one person, and that's going to be me.
And you know what? That is something to really, really close the show out on. And the fact that, look, man, you know what? You are representing your generation.
Right.
And this is the praise that you put on your father. Right. Don't wait until the time comes before you give him his flowers.
Exactly.
Flowers can give every single day, no matter what. And it's funny because you acknowledge his energy and so forth. Sometimes people don't acknowledge it until later on.
Right.
And parents, fathers, the way you love your father is to give him respect.
Exactly.
That's what he wants. If you say you love him, he don't care nothing about all the other stuff, as long as you respect him and you show that. Molly shows that, and so does J-Port. So it's a great thing to see that, and you're growing up to be a man just like your father.
Thank you so much.
That's going to be good.
And that's exactly what I'm doing, trying to follow his footsteps and, be the best person I can be, following, his footsteps. He's creating a trail for me, and I'm just kind of stepping right in his foot, in the tracks and just taking his lead. This is a wrap of this episode. I'm super excited. I got my man, my coach, my mentor, Coach Gustus, the original gentleman. What better to do in the Gentleman's Factory? Listen, remember, you can keep up with the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, Audible, iHeartRadio. You have no excuse not to keep up with the Strength No Weakness podcast. We give you bangers after bangers. Come on. Join the family. We love you guys. Thank you for the constant support, the tremendous love. We love you guys so much. Thank you so much. And we'll see you in the next episode. Salute, Young Jamaican Trainer with Otair.